Hello, everyone. My name is Elena Shvab, and I'm based in London. Welcome to my studio, and welcome to this video today. I think it's going to be one of the most exciting videos and one of the most helpful, as today is so many messages have been receiving, private messages and comments. Most of you, many of you, asking about my hat blocks that I'm using, hat blocks that I'm using during courses, and that I'm using creating collections and making hats. Obviously, hat block is the most important part of millinery. It's the most important tool, and it's the basic one. You cannot make a hat without having one. So obviously, it's very important what hat block is, where you choose, what size, what dimensions of the hat blocks. All these little things are crucial and important to understand if you make one of the most and biggest investments in hat making, ordering your first hat block. So I would like to share about the hat blocks that I do have and that I'm using for teaching my courses, and I use them for teaching my students how to make a hat. There are two types of hat blocks that I have, and these hat blocks are to make a fedora hat specifically, although you can also make other type of hats, but most of all, these are for fedora hat. So there are two hat blocks that I have and use for my work, and those are the hat blocks that you are usually asking me about. And these two crowns, and this is a brim. All parts are made of wood. Obviously, it's very important because it's the best material for hat blocks. There are also alternative hat blocks materials, but I would suggest that these are the best ones, and they will serve you for a very, very, very long time. So let's start with the brim. The brim of that I have for making my hats and that I'm using for courses is flat hat block. It's designed to make flat fedora style hats that are very popular during my courses. Many students are asking to learn specifically this design. Hence, this is why I ordered this particular hat block. It's flat, and you can make other type of hats, not just fedora hat. You can also make bow ties, like this hat that I have, although it's not blocked, but this is the style of a bow tie that you can make out of straw or felt, and it has a flat brim, and it's perfect, this particular hat block. So you've been always asking me about the measurements. So the circumference of this hat block that I have is, wait, I wrote it down, it's 119 centimeters, which is 47 inch. It's quite big, so it does look big, so something like that. Well, quite massive, but I decided to order a bigger size because some of my students love making bigger brim hats. And also, if you want a smaller brim, you can always trim the edge in order to create a smaller size hat. So if you have a smaller hat brim, you can't really make a bigger brim, obviously. But if you have a bigger one, you can always go down into the cutting and trimming the edge of the hat block. And also it has this part, which is perfect for using string instead of hat pins, blocking pins, which are these. These are blocking pins. They come in different sizes and styles, and you choose whichever you prefer to use. And the string obviously helps because you don't always have to put the pins inside. You can just use the string in order to keep the felt in place, which is absolutely great. And this part really helps. It also helps to create a brim that goes underneath, and that creates a particular style. So if you would like to use the wire and trim with petition ribbon on the edge, this is absolutely perfect. So this is about the brim. What about the crowns? So there are two crowns that I'm using. as hat blocks. This is a classic Fedora style hat. I chose this particular shape because I absolutely love it. Although, of course, there's so many different types of Fedora styles. I think there are over hundreds. And on this, I can't give advice. It's very personal. It very much depends on what you like, what style of Fedora hat you would like to create. And obviously, you would order a hat block with that particular style that you have in mind. This part has also this little part, a presser that you can put on top when your felt is already stretched over a wooden hat block, and you would put something heavy on top that it presses the presser and presses on the felt in order to create this part. It's quite helpful. And also the next question that you've been always asking me about the size of the crown. So this is a tricky one. Very much depends on how tall you want the crown to be. And tricky because I'm saying that it's very personal. Someone prefers a taller crown and someone prefers lower. So it very much depends what you like to make, whether you're making for yourself or if you're making for your clients. You have to know before you order the hat block how tall it's supposed to be. So let's see how tall is the crown that I have. So we're going to measure it together. So the size is 8 centimeters, or it's 3.3 inch. It's from this side to this side. And on the side, because this part goes slightly up, so obviously it's a bit taller. Let me see. And this one is, so this one is 10 centimeters, which is 4 inch. The best part that you can have is extension. Extension is a perfect solution if you would like to have both a not very tall crown and a taller based on your orders or your requirements. So this extension is, let me see, this is 2 centimeters, which is a little bit less than an inch. So you put these two together and you already have a much taller crown, which is perfect and will help you to create a slightly taller hat crown. So altogether, that would be, let's see, so altogether it's already 10 centimeters, which is perfect. So this is about the crowns. And another important thing about crowns is the circumference, the size of the crown, which is the size of your head. This one is 57 centimeters, which is 22.5 inch. This is standard female size. Obviously, for men, it should be bigger size. But again, very much depends if you're making a hat for you. So you would measure your head size. And the way you do it, you take a measuring tape and you place it around your head, above the eyebrows, above your ear, and right here at the back, making one straight circle. Basically, we're measuring the widest part of the head and where the head is usually sits. It's right here. So it goes like that around, here on top and here. And what I would suggest, do not stretch the measuring tape. Keep it a bit loose because you don't want to end up with a hat of a very, very tight hat that will be quite uncomfortable to wear. So leave it loose so it sits comfortably on your hat. So this is about measuring your head size, figuring out your head size or your client's head size or your friends, whoever you're making the hat for. And very much depends on the hat size. You choose the hat block, exactly same measurement. So the next hat block that I'm using, and this is, I think, most probably the most popular hat block, and I'm using it a lot during my classes and my workshops. This is called a dome shape crown, as it has its dome shape, or it's also called open crown. This is a perfect hat block for beginners. It doesn't matter what exactly hat you're making. It's perfect for making fascinator hats because you can use the curvy side of the hat block. It's perfect for making hand-shaped, freehand-shaped style hats when you don't really need the hat block, but you use it as a base and you manipulate the fabric in order to create beautiful amorphic shapes. And also it's perfect, obviously, to make crowns in this shape. And of course, to make Fedora felt hats that you hand shape the crown after it's already blocked. It's the most popular feature during my courses. Every student is really enjoying. One of the last hats, my student made it in the shape the crown into a shape of a heart, which was absolutely cute. Love that hat. I think it's in one of my stories for you to see. And it's very creative approach in creating Fedora hats because you have a control of what your crown and your hat will look like. It will allow you to create hats that are unique, hats that are part of your personality, hats that no one will ever create because it's coming from you. So the technique of how to make those hand-shaped crowns will be part of my video course. It's another great news that I cannot wait to share. And so many of you have been asking whether I do have my felt hat course online, which I didn't have it. And now I decided that it's time to finally record the course so that you can enjoy watching it and learning how to make felt hats, Fedora hats from the comfort of your home, especially for those who are unable to travel to my studio and learn how to make these fabulous hats. So this course will be recorded in a month's time. I hope. It's a lot of work and I want to make it perfect. But yes, this technique I will be showing during this course, as well as how to block a Fedora hat using a standard Fedora style hat block. So stay tuned. Obviously, there will be a lot of announcements about that. And of course, I would like to ask all of you who are interested, please do let me know what exact techniques you would like to learn, the difficulties that you have during making hats, so that I can include it in the video, in the course, so to make it more informative and to create a better and best content for you to learn. So please comment below or send me a private message or email me. I would be happy to hear from you, any ideas or any suggestions and requests. So I hope to hear from you on that regard. So what the next thing about this hat blocks, we already discussed, it's a perfect shape, making different style hats, including Fedora hat style hat for hand shaping. So another important thing to consider is because this shape for making Fedora felts going to be hand shaped and it will go slightly down, like the shape goes right inside. It means that the crown has to be taller. The hat block has to be much taller than the final hat. So let me measure the height of this hat block, which is about, I think, 14.5 centimeters, which is 6 inch. So yeah, it's a 6-inch height, which will obviously be reduced as a final piece into about 10 centimeters or so. So that's why these hat blocks have to be ordered slightly taller than the final piece. It's very important because if you order it in same size as this one, you won't be able to create this part. It simply will be too low. I hope it makes sense. Obviously, it will make more sense when I show it and demonstrate in the video course. But this is quite important thing to remember. If you want to order a dome-shaped hat crowns for making fedora hats where you hand shape the final crown, this part has to be much taller than the original, than the final hat. So another important thing, the next important thing, is how to put all the hats together, all the hat blocks together, because during the blocking process, it has to be very sturdy, it has to be very secured. It cannot move, because otherwise you will end up with relocated crown, which obviously an amazing design if that's what you wish for, but ideally it's supposed to be right here in the middle. It's very important that you have a central line here, so you can either ask a hat block maker to create a central line for you, or in this case the central line is right here, and it's a join of pieces of wood, which is right in the middle. And this is how I know where the center is. Why center is important is because you also need a central line right here, which you join both parts together, knowing where the central line on the brim and central line on the crown, so that you place the hat block, the crown, right in the middle. So how you join both parts together, and this is really amazing, and for the first time in my life I'm really enjoying making hats, because previously I had hat blocks from different suppliers, so I had to learn how to put both of them together, which was a nightmare to figure out a system. I figured out the system, I've been using it, and I've been teaching all my students how to do that until I got this hat block. And the secret is in the bolts, the screws, which you place underneath through these holes. So obviously every hat block supplier has their own perks and tricks, but this is how Easy Hat Blocks supply made it for me, and this is absolutely amazing. Not just for me, but this is how they make the hat blocks, so they work together. So if I would like to use these two hat blocks, the brim, the extension, which goes on top, okay, and then the crown also goes on top. Just have to be very careful to put it together, and then I turn it around, holding all of the pieces together. It's a little bit tricky, but it works, takes time. And then you simply, with a screwdriver, you screw the screws inside like that, and then you have a really amazing and solid piece. So I'm not going to do it entirely all together, but and then it stays in, and no matter how much and how strong you stretch the felt, all pieces, they do stay together, and that's amazing. So yeah, and then you can change. You can unscrew this one, and then you can add, replace the crown and the brim together. So it makes it really easy to work. So in the meantime, please do ask any questions that you might have. It's a live video, so I would be able to answer all your questions right now. I do hope that you're enjoying this live session so far, and I'm really happy to see all of you who's joining in the meantime. So let me show you hat blocks that I already had and why I'm really enjoying these ones. So that was one of my first hat blocks that I ordered when I just started hat making, and I made a massive mistake by ordering these hat blocks. Fedora hat block, what I didn't pay attention to, what I like to make a mistake that I did, is I did not ask the hat block maker about the height. That was many years ago. I don't even remember where I ordered this hat block. I do still use it, but it gives me a lot of it takes a lot of time to work around it and to create the crown. If you both that I did years ago. So you see the difference? It's much, much taller, and honestly, it does not look good. It doesn't have to be that tall. So if you put it next to my hat, you see how tall it is? It has to be much taller than that. So every time I use this hat, I cut two, three centimeters just to make it perfect. That means that I cut in one go, in one piece. Means that I always have to block background separately. It makes the process twice as longer and harder because too many steps I have to follow. And this is the brim that I've been using. This is the same set. And as you can see, there's also a technique of attaching crown and the brim together. So they'll have little holes right here, so you can adjust the crown and the brim. So what's the difficulty with this? I mean, using just this hat block together, it's amazing. But if, for example, I want to use this hat block, which is a lovely trilby style hat block, in order to use this hat block, I can't use any other crown on top of that unless I have this little hole. So it means that I either have to make those little holes myself, or I don't know, there's no other option. So it means that both parts have to be blocked separately and then attached together. There's also a technique for that, but it takes much, much longer to make hat this way. So what I would suggest, maybe it's not the best idea to have these parts built in, that you can't take them out, because otherwise you can't attach both parts together and combine them as one piece and to block it in one go. So this is why I was demonstrating this particular hat block, which is so easy to adjust crown and the brim just by using screws. And hence it means that you can use the brim with a very different hat block, any other hat blocks that you want. A little note, maybe not with the screws, but using a technique of attaching crown and the block with a different way, which I will be showing in my video course. But it gives you more possibilities of using flat brim that does not have any things attached to it. I hope it makes sense. So anyway, I think this is all I wanted to say. Also, another important thing is that the hat blocks, modern new hat blocks, they're usually made of a soft wood, which means that when using hat blocks and pins, it's much easier to place the pin inside. As you can see, you would have to use a lot of pins in order to secure the felt or straw, whatever you're working with, on the hat block. So what does it mean? That softer material is so much easier to make for hat block makers, and for us as milliners, hat makers, it's very easy to use pins because of the softness of the wood, and the process becomes so much more enjoyable in so many ways. So you order hat blocks from secondhand, I don't know, eBay or Etsy, a lot of alternatives, hand blocks, vintage hat blocks. It's a great alternative, and sometimes you can find really nice hat blocks for practice or as a first block, which I also used this website and got a lot of beautiful hat blocks. The downside that most of those hat blocks are made of a very tough wood that is really hard to work with. This is another thing just to think about before you make this step. Modern hat blocks, and why to invest more than in the other hat blocks like old ones, is because of the wood. It's because it's so much easier to work with it, and on the longer run it does make sense because it's quite hard to use pins in order to secure the material on the hat blocks that are made of a tough and strong wood. So I think this is all that I wanted to share today. about the hat blocks. I think, and I hope I answered all of your questions that you've been asking about the size of the hat blocks, about where to order hat blocks, a lot of questions. So the supplier I ordered these hat blocks are Easy Hat Blocks. The link is in description. If you're interested, go to their website. They have a lot of different styles for Fedora hat blocks and hat blocks in general, for fascinators, pillbox, cloche hats, whatever you want. They are amazing in helping choosing hat blocks and sizes, whatever you need. They really helped me to choose exactly what I needed, and we discussed what the best sizes to choose, different styles. They were very, very helpful and very grateful. I also shared different styles and why I'm using these particular hat blocks, which is also quite beneficial to have different options for making hats, depending what you would like to create. Little details that help also in hat making and making instead of ordering two different hat blocks or different heights, you can always use the extension, which is very helpful, and it might work for other style crowns. And I also showed how to adjust both crown and brim together. And of course, any questions about the video course, how to make felt hat, please do message me. I would like to hear your thoughts and what would you like to learn before I progress with writing the logistics and all the steps, because I would like to include as much information as I can to make it more informative. I hope the course will be out in a month, maybe 6 weeks. It takes time to film and edit and everything that is behind the camera, but I would love to create a better content. So please do message me. And also for those who are new to this channel, I hope you enjoyed. Please do subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss my next video tutorial or my next live session. And also you're all welcome to join my membership channel, where I have a lot of amazing members only videos and tutorials, and also video live sessions that come out every month on different subjects, and all very quite informative and perfect for those who would like to learn millinery in details and would love to learn how to block straw hats, felt hats, manipulate different materials, and so on. Every month there's a new tutorial, so please join. I would suggest a millinery member membership for those who would love to learn millinery details. As every month I come live with different tutorials, very educational tutorials based on what you would like to learn. Any questions, message me. I have just next week, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And thank you so much for everyone who joined. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.